ever so slightly. The date is October 17th, 2012. Today is the day I start the first book in this series, Unleash the Power of Diversity, Multicultural Competence for Business Results. Later on, we will examine practical features that one routinely outlines in a book, the content of each section, new frameworks and conceptual challenges, business imperatives, and a call to action. But for this moment, I want you to experience my heart beating a little bit faster, to see the room around me, a Starbucks like so many others. People typing, tutors with voices raised ever so slightly as they try to explain the difference between one type of differential equation or another. The friendly man at the counter who says he doesn't remember my name or my order but recognizes that wonderful smile. I want you to feel it viscerally in your stomach because the work of diversity happens here, not in our heads, but in our guts, our hearts, and everywhere in between. That is why so much of what you read in this book will make you optimistic, angry, defensive, guilty, confused, or confident. Emotional investment is a prerequisite for this book in order for it to have lasting personal and professional impact. In a frenetic, stressful, and deadline-driven corporate environment, there is such a laser-sharp focus on numbers and results that the human element is often forgotten. Worse, we err on the side of compliance and conduct our annual diversity conference, appoint a diversity director or two, and feel competent at diversity and inclusion. The fact of the matter is that these measures, while positive, do not guarantee an engaged, diverse workforce. And on the premise that an engaged workforce is a more productive workforce, this book addresses the bottom line. In order for true diversity learning to occur, however, the reader, regardless of whether she is the CEO of a multi-billion-dollar multinational corporation or an individual contributor, must be willing to read with both the head and the heart. Therefore, read the stories first before going to the fact sheet that tells you how many Buddhists there are in the world, or a map that highlights where the 3 billion Christians are located geographically. You will learn more that way. All adult learning and engagement theory validates that assumption. So, shall we take a diversity foray together? Author's note. I will define and redefine the word foray many times throughout this book. For now, it's a journey, an exploration, and also the framework that centers this book. The purpose of this framework is to offer a simple yet practical toolkit to make the complex, messy, often dangerous subject of diversity easier to explore. Chapter 2. Mission. Setting our life compass. Why do we exist? If you don't know where you are going, you can read 1,000 books with topics and techniques to help you improve your life, and it will not make much of a difference in the end. I don't mean to talk you out of reading this book on diversity, but truthful I must be. So before we start talking about diversity, culture, and all the other aspects that makes us different, let's center ourselves. What is your mission in life? Do you have 5 or 6 words that serve as your North Star and guide your life? A wise man I met recently, a master in meditation and immensely learned, said that his is peace on earth. An attendee at a recent global conference showed me his card. It said simply, clarity wins. My North Star is learning, teaching, helping with graceful, flawed authenticity. Each of those words represents something very critical. If it moves others forward, sharing what I have learned matters to me. This